Have you ever been trapped in this moment? Someone accuses you of being too sensitive, when in truth, they are the ones exploding with emotion. They call you jealous, while openly flirting with someone else. They label you dishonest, yet they are the ones hiding, lying, and twisting the truth. Why does this happen? Why do those who fail so often blame you? The answer lies in one of the oldest and most toxic psychological tricks: projection. And once you understand it, everything changes. You'll step out of the spiral of false guilt. You'll stop questioning your own worth. And more importantly, you'll build an inner Stoic wall, strong, unshakable, where no one can manipulate you again. Stay with me until the end, because today you'll see the hidden game of blame for what it really island. I'm Jason, and this is the Stoic Habit. If this journey speaks to you, join us, subscribe, and walk this Stoic path with me. Let's dive right in. Section 1. The nature of projection. When a human heart is heavy with shame, with fear, or with guilt, there is an almost irresistible urge to throw that weight away. And the easiest place to throw it is onto another person. This is projection. The selfish father scolds his child, "You're selfish." The lazy boss accuses the employee, "You lack effort." The unfaithful partner looks into your eyes and says, "You can't be trusted." Each time, notice what's happening. The accusation is not a mirror of you, it's a reflection of them. Their own shadow, too dark, too painful, now sits on your shoulders. You become the trash bin of emotions they refuse to face. And here is the hard truth. All of us have done this, at least in small ways. We blame others when we can't bear to look at ourselves. It is part of being human. But for the narcissist, projection is not an accident. It becomes a lifestyle, a weapon, a permanent escape route from responsibility. In their story, they are always innocent, and you are always guilty. The Stoics knew this game long before psychology gave it a name. Epictetus once said, "Do not expect people to act rightly. The only thing within your power is how you respond." That wisdom is our anchor, because when someone points their finger at you loud, certain, unshakable, you must pause and remember, this is not truth, this is distortion. What they throw at you is not evidence, it is avoidance. Think about it. When someone calls you selfish for setting a boundary, are you truly selfish, or are you simply protecting your peace? When someone calls you jealous while they themselves flirt openly, does that jealousy belong to you or to their own betrayal? Projection is the art of reversing the mirror. They flip it so that you carry what they cannot hold. And here is where your Stoic shield begins to rise. You learn to see clearly, this accusation is not about me. This is their shadow speaking. Their refusal to face themselves. The moment you see it for what it is, the game begins to lose its power. Section 2. Why do people play the blame game? The blame game, this endless cycle of pointing fingers, is not always cold calculation. Often, it is survival. When a person makes a mistake, guilt rises like fire in the chest. The weight of shame presses down, stress grows unbearable, and instead of facing it, what do? They pass it on. They throw that burning coal into someone else's hands, hoping it will stop hurting. Psychology explains it this way. Guilt is heavy, so the mind invents a story to lighten the load. And the easiest story is this: it wasn't me, it was you. But the Stoics saw this long before modern science. Seneca wrote, "Men flee their inner fears by inventing enemies outside." Think about that. Instead of wrestling with the chaos inside, people look for someone, anyone, to carry the blame. Picture a company where a project collapses, deadlines missed, results failing. Instead of a manager admitting poor leadership, he singles out an employee. He says, "This is your fault," not because it's true, but because he cannot bear the taste of failure. His relief comes from assigning guilt to another. And here lies the danger. Some people are not only escaping responsibility, they are learning to weaponize projection. They accuse you until your confidence cracks. They push you into endless explanations while they stand taller with each word you waste. They attach a label to your name and then use that label to control how others see you. This is no longer survival, this is strategy. This is the moment projection mutates into manipulation. And the effect is subtle but devastating. You walk away from conversations you never started, carrying guilt that was never yours. Your voice gets smaller, their shadow grows larger. How many arguments in your life were never truly yours to begin with? Section 3. The signs you're caught in projection. How do you know when someone is projecting onto you? There are patterns, clear signals that reveal the truth. First, look at the intensity. The reaction is far bigger than the moment deserves. A small mistake, a forgotten text, a delayed reply, and suddenly the explosion comes. The emotion is 10 times larger than the situation. That tells you something. This isn't about you. They're protecting something hidden, something much deeper. Second, listen to their words. They usually use absolute words. You always do this. You never care. Everyone thinks the same. These are not facts. They are emotional walls built to defend the accuser's shadow. Walls designed to keep you out and to keep their pain unexamined. Third, watch for repetition. The same script, over and over, just with different characters. A friend who complains that everyone betrays them. A colleague who insists that every workplace is toxic. A partner who claims that no one can be trusted. Do you see the pattern? The common thread is not the world, it is them. I once knew someone who constantly said, "People always let me down." At first, I believed them, until I noticed they were the first to break promises. They were the ones who disappeared when others needed them. Their complaint was not a description of reality. It was a projection of their own behavior. And here is the danger. When you're on the receiving end of these projections, you begin to doubt yourself. You apologize for mistakes that never happened. You shrink your boundaries just to keep the peace. And slowly you start to lose trust in your own emotions. This is the most destructive part of projection. It erodes your inner reality. It makes you a stranger to yourself. Epictetus once warned, "If you allow your mind to be taken over by another, that is slavery." And that is exactly what projection does. It enslaves not your body, but your perception. So the question becomes, how do you break free? How do you step out of the blame game before it consumes you? Section 4. The Stoic Defense. The Stoics never wasted energy wrestling with shadows. They knew that arguing with distortion only feeds the illusion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations, "If someone accuses you, ask yourself, is it true? If it is, correct yourself. If it is not, smile." That smile is not weakness, it is strategy. Because the louder you defend against a lie, the more you become an actor in their play, and the play was never yours to begin with. So how do you defend yourself? The Stoic way. There are 3 steps, simple but powerful. Step 1. Recognition. The moment blame lands on you, pause. Ask quietly, is this truly me? If the answer is no, let the words return to their owner. You do not need to hold what was never yours. Step 2. Boundaries. Do not enter the endless spiral of debate. Calmly, firmly, say, "I will not take responsibility for what I did not do." And then stop. No arguing, no proving, no endless evidence. A single sentence is enough. Step 3. Inner strength. Seneca wrote, "The man of character does not fear losing false friends, for he is free even when abandoned." Freedom is not found in winning an argument. Freedom is found in keeping your peace when the world demands your chaos. Think about it. If every time you are accused, you rise to defend yourself, you become a prisoner of their opinion. But when you learn to stand silent, steady, rooted accusations fall like arrows against stone. The Stoic defense is not about silence of fear, it is silence of choice. a deliberate decision not to dance in someone else's theater. And here is the paradox: the less you react, the stronger you appear. The calmer you remain, the more their mask begins to slip. Their projection loses power because you refuse to play your part. Section 5. Real-life scenarios of projection. Example 1. You're too sensitive. A man once shared this story. He told his girlfriend, calmly, that her habit of mocking him in front of friends hurt him. He wanted respect, not laughter at his expense. She didn't listen. Instead, she smirked and said, "You're just too sensitive. I was only joking." And in that instant, he began to doubt himself. Am I really too sensitive? Am I the problem here? But the truth was different. She was the one who could not tolerate being called out. Her own fragility was too much to face, so she projected it onto him. Example 2. You're yelling at me. A husband recalled how his wife often erupted in rage, slamming doors, raising her voice, throwing words like weapons. One day, exhausted, he finally shouted back. And instantly she screamed, "You're abusive. You're the violent one." Do you see the trick? The one who started the storm now wears the mask of the victim, and if he wasn't careful, he would begin to believe her story. He would accept the guilt she needed to escape. Seneca once warned, "The weak always cover their faults by attacking others." That is the heart of projection. The question, so why do some people repeat this pattern again and again instead of admitting their mistakes? Example 3. You're jealous. Another man told of his wife who openly flirted with colleagues at parties. When he finally said, "That crosses the line," she exploded. "You're jealous. You must be hiding something yourself." Do you see the paradox? She was the one breaking boundaries, yet she accused him of the very betrayal she practiced. This is no longer misunderstanding. This is strategy. A calculated reversal that erodes your trust, not just in her, but in your own senses. And today, with social media, projection has become a collective game. The loudest voices often cry fake while living double lives. Those who shout about positivity are sometimes the ones spreading hidden drama. Seneca warned us, crowds often mistake noise for truth. And in this age, the louder someone screams, the more people believe them, even when the scream is only a mask to hide their fear. Section 6. Looking within and training the Stoic mind. Stoicism does not stop at recognizing projection in others. It also asks us to face it in ourselves. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you blame someone, ask yourself first, have I not done the same?" It's uncomfortable, isn't it? But true. Sometimes we accuse others of selfishness, not because they are selfish, but because we fear being abandoned. Sometimes we call someone cold or uncaring, when what we really crave is their attention. The first step out of the blame game is brutal honesty. Not about them, about us. Think of it. We call others toxic when they set boundaries we never learned to respect. We accuse them of being ungrateful when they don't meet our unspoken expectations. We label someone manipulative when what we really fear is losing control. This is the shadow within us, the part we'd rather deny. But the Stoic path is not about denial, it is about courage, the courage to see the dark corner of your own soul and not run from it. Here's a 2-minute exercise. Write one sentence that begins like this. I once accused someone of, when in truth I was afraid of. You don't need to post it. You don't need to confess it aloud. The act itself, the honesty on paper, is enough to show you the mirror you've been avoiding. And in that moment of recognition, something powerful happens. The chain of projection weakens. You stop exporting your fears onto others. You begin to carry them, to own them. And ownership, strangely enough, brings freedom. Seneca reminded us, no man is free who is a slave to his emotions. True freedom begins not when you silence your feelings, but when you take responsibility for them, even the raw ones, especially the raw ones. So the next time anger surges in your chest, Before the blame leaves your lips, pause. Ask, what am I really afraid of? The moment you do that, you are no longer a prisoner of impulse. You are a Stoic in training, shaping steel from the very fire that once burned you. Imagine what your life would look like if every attack became a lesson and every shadow became a teacher. That is where the Stoic journey truly begins. Conclusion: projection will never disappear. People will keep blaming, keep throwing their shadows onto others, but you have the power, the choice not to play their game. Do not let another's anger rewrite your story. Do not let their fear become your shame. True courage begins when you dare to face your own shadow, and when you stop carrying what was never yours, you finally stand free. Share your story in the comments below. I, Jason, will read every single one. And if this video brought you value, you can tap the thanks button to support me in creating more content. Comment, I choose freedom from blame, and subscribe and continue walking this Stoic path with us.